Please like, subscribe, and put on your notification. Thank you.
Welcome to Tutelage Educational Service. I am Joseph Janet, and today we'll be taking English language. Our topic for today is direct and indirect speech. Enhance your writing. So let's move on to our words for today. By the end of the lesson, I would like you to understand the difference between direct and indirect speech, being able to apply the knowledge in your writing, accurately punctuate direct and indirect speech, know when and how to change your pronoun and verb tense in indirect speech. So let me take you to what direct speech is all about. Do you know what direct speech is? Good. Direct speech, I would say, can be defined as a quoted speech. Direct speech doesn't have a long definition. It uses quotation mark. Now, there's something you need to know about direct speech. When we are using direct speech in our writing, the exact words spoken must be put inside a speech mark, which is a quotation mark. The first spoken words must have a capital letter, and this is what I mean by capital letter, not this. This is out of it. Also, when the speaker begins, we must start a new line. In direct speech, we need to start a new line when the speaker begins. In direct speech, the verb tense do not change. The verb tense do not change since we just copy what the person had said. We don't need to do the other way around. And now I bring you to some examples of direct speech. Okay, our first example now on direct speech is the sentence says, I have hurt my leg. So take the speaker of the speech to be a boy. I have hurt my leg, the boy moaned. That's how it is. It's so direct, so plain, and nothing changes. The verb tense, my, hurt, didn't change. So the second example of direct speech is, I am 12 years old. Take the speaker of the speech to be a girl. She said, I am 12 years old. Or, I am 12 years old, she said. And the third example we have in our direct speech is, get out. Take the speaker to be Mrs. Spencer. Mrs. Spencer said, get out. Get out, Mrs. Spencer said. So those are the three examples I have given to you in direct speech. I think you can now understand that in direct speech, the verb does not change. So I move to the second lesson, which brings us to indirect speech. And indirect speech is very different from direct speech. In indirect speech, we have the verb tense changed. Indirect speech is known as a reported speech. When we use indirect speech in our writing, we usually have to change to pronoun and verb tense. We don't need to start a new line when we report the speaker words. It also could be said that what the person said doesn't need a word to word. We don't need speech mark. And what is speech mark? The quotation mark is not needed in indirect speech. So let me take you to some examples of indirect speech for you to understand what I mean. So in some example of indirect speech, we have speech like, or sentence like, I am hungry. So the indirect speech is, she said that she was hungry. Now note, in the speech I said I am hungry, and in the indirect speech I said she said that she was hungry. Note that the verb tense changed from and to was. So I'm going to give you other example which will help you to identify where the verb and pronoun tense changed. Now the second example is, my teacher told me to study harder. And the indirect speech for that sentence is, her teacher told her to study harder. The next example is, I've hurt my leg. The indirect speech for that is, the boy moaned that he had hurt his leg. So we go to the next example, I like my dress. Or, I like the dress. The indirect speech for that is the woman said that she liked the dress. So you could be able to identify where the verb tense and the pronoun tense changed in the sentence. We move on to Wilf. By the end of the lesson, I look for the evidence to show that you understand the difference between direct and indirect speech. Being able to apply the knowledge in your writing, accurately punctuate direct and indirect speech, know when and how to change the pronoun and the verb tense. So this brings us to the end of today's class. Okay, so I'm going to do a little appreciation here. Thanks for watching. Till we meet again. This is Tutelage Educational Service, and this presentation was made by Ms. Joseph Janet, the Tutelage Vocational and English teacher. Thank you. Bye.